So if I'm playing on E minor 7 flat 5, A7 flat 9, I'm playing key of D minor, right?
Correct.
And all music students know, right, relative major, relative minor, right? So this D minor, key of D minor has the same notes as F major,
Right.
right?
Yes, it does.
So aren't I really just playing key of F major on those chord changes?
Yes, on E minor 7 flat 5 to A 7 flat 9, which is D natural minor or D harmonic minor. The natural minor is F major, yes. But if you wanted to use harmonic minor, then that scale has one different note than the key of F major, and you can get that note by playing harmonic minor. But yes, that's a good way of simplifying that. Right. So it's a good thing to know your relative keys also when you're practicing your minor and major scales. I'm not so much a big scale guy getting started in jazz because that gets very confusing. So I stick with the basic major scales and the natural and harmonic minor scales. I don't get into the fancier scales until much later on, which will probably come in some subsequent videos that we do. And those are that's most of what you're gonna ever need to know for a long time improvising. Maybe the next video we do is gonna contain notes that are not in the scale. These are notes of tension and notes of different colors that you could decorate your improvisations with. In the music of Bach, we see notes that don't fit in a chord, and we called them back then appoggiaturas and passing tones and neighboring tones and échappés and approach tones. And in jazz, they just call those extensions of the chords. You know, we don't make a big deal of it. We don't have those fancy names. So they were used back then in Bach's day. They were used differently, but they were still used to create tension and color, which is how jazz players today use those same notes. So in wrapping this up, what I would do if you're a beginning player, intermediate player out there, just stay with the basic notes of the scale. If you notice in this video, I talked about more of the horizontal approach, choosing your notes from a particular major or minor scale, and not the vertical approach of grabbing your notes from the chord 1, 3, 5, 7, 9, because by doing that, you're I think cheating yourself out of some of the basic chord tones of the major scale. It's good to do both. You should know your chords starting on the root and the third and the fifth and the seventh. That's very important also. But I think to get started, you need to know your general key center. So if you're you see a minor chord and a dominant chord, you know right away that's a 2 and a 5 and whatever key, and play those notes in that key. I think it would open up your playing a little more rather than just looking at chords as every other note. This way you could know all your notes in the scale and try to look at those notes out of order, because you never want to play basic scale, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. It doesn't really sound as jazz-like. Okay, so that would be it for my first lecture on jazz improvisation, Simplified.